What's going on? This is your man, Big Brother Tucker, coming at you for a follow up to my previous video. Before I really get into the subject, let me give a huge shout out to another YouTuber that I follow named Endymion. Amazing. I dropped my vid, and the very next day, Monday, he dropped a vid expounding upon my point using the exact same examples of the Transformers video games and using the similarities with the vehicles. I found it amazing. I don't know if he watched my video and that inspired him, but if he did, I'm kind of fanboying a little bit. That'd be freaking awesome. But with that being said, I want to expand upon what he expanded on because there has been a response from what are they called? Ah, Video Games Europe. There has been a response to the Stop Killing Games initiative. Now, for all those who may not know and may be watching me or listening to me address this topic for the very first time, let me give a really quick synopsis of what the dealio is here. Over in Europe, there is an initiative called Stop Killing Games. This initiative is was brought about because consumers really have very little rights when it comes to the purchase of electronic video games, by which you are learning that even here in America, that you don't really buy the game, you are buying a license to play the game. That's just a really fancy way of saying you're essentially renting it until they get tired of letting you rent it.
Wow. Wow.
What Stop Killing Games is trying to do is let people know, hey, look, for starters, let people know up front, you don't own the game, you are simply leasing it. Number two, if you're going to get rid of it, allow for the players that have purchased your game to somehow, some way maintain it, whether it be create an offline version, which is the biggest problem, that they take these games offline, shut down their servers. They, being the AAA publishers, they shut the games down, take them off their servers, so you no longer are able to play the game. So they have been asked to either make an offline mode or allow players to create a private server. Both of these things are quite reasonable. And before I go deeper into this particular thing, let me let y'all know that brand new, all hyped Nintendo Switch 2, y'all really have very little ownership of that. To be more blatant and a bit profane here, essentially, you're nothing but Nintendo's bitches.
Yeah.
Because if you do anything that Nintendo deems detrimental to that Switch, if you try to mod it in any way to do anything outside of what it's designed to do, anything, and I mean the slightest things, Nintendo will do a thing called brick your system.
What the hell is even that?
In case you don't know what that means, allow me to share this with you. As you can see, bricking a device means rendering it completely unusable, typically due to a software issue. It is a colloquial term comparing the device to a brick, an object with no practical use in its current state. The device essentially becomes unresponsive and cannot be easily repaired. What Nintendo does is, if you try to mod the Switch 2, if you do anything that you would do with something that you own, they just shut it down. I think in their specific case, they kill online access. And in case you didn't know this, all of Switch's games are online. I know, I know. But Tucker, we can go down to the local GameStop and we can order it. We can buy a physical game.
Boom, you don't.
Allow me to share this with you. Yes, Switch 2 cartridges are real and exist, but there is a nuance.
Let's stop right there. Let's just stop right there for a second.
Why is there a nuance? If I bought a cartridge, it's a cartridge. I put it inside said console.
And that's it.
That lets you know that what's happening or what's about to be said next is bullshit answer. But there's a nuance. Some are game key cards that primarily act as a key to download the game, while others contain the full game data.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
These are physically similar to Switch 1 cartridges, but are differentiated by color, red, and a Switch 2 logo on the sticker. Nintendo is also using these to offer backward compatibility with the original Switch. Some cartridges containing both the original game and the Switch 2 upgrade. So allow me to retract what I said earlier. Let's say, I'll be generous, half their games aren't on their cartridge, as they just said. You're literally just buying the key card. And so that is the detriment, and that is in its principle, in its essence, what Stop Killing Games is fighting. Even Nintendo is telling you, well, yeah, you can buy a cartridge, but it's really not a cartridge. It's blah, blah, blah.
It's all a fugazi. You know what a fugazi is?
No, Fugazi. It's fake.
Yeah, fugazi. It's a wazi, it's a woozy, it's a fairy dust. It doesn't exist. It's never landed. It is no matter. It's not on the elemental chart. It's not fucking real.
Which makes them breaking their systems a lot more effective and painful. Because if you want to mod it for whatever reason, I don't know why people would mod it, but I know I've played systems that have been modified. But I get it. I get it. To the extent of people modify what they want to. It's yours. It is your property. Modify it how you would like. What I don't get is this fake ass ownership that these gaming companies are pushing. You're getting to a place where, well, yeah, it's yours, but not really.
What kind of shit is that?
As I stated in my previous video, we're going to charge you full price for half-ass ownership.
No.
Not with that. So that is at the core what Stop Killing Games movement is about. Now, it is an initiative right now based solely in the EU, in Europe. So if you're in America, you can't sign that petition to get it looked at before Parliament. Can't do it if you're an American, or if you're based in America, you can't do it. What we in America are cheerleading, what consumers around the world are cheerleading, is there are laws that get passed to stop this, because we know that sets a precedent, and a precedent can be used some of everywhere.
True that. True that.
So now when Australia wants to use it, or America wants to use it, or Canada wants to fight it, we now have precedent on, hey, the consumers, or this nation, this governing body said, hey, the consumer is correct here. Now, in all that, once that petition got to well over its 1 million signatures that it needed to get put in front of Parliament, what's happened now is this. Now comes the legal mumbo jumbo and the legal wrangling. Now is when the fight really begins. Now is when you have these AAA developers, your Capcoms, your Naughty Dogs, your Ubisofts. Now is when they get their big money lawyers, their big money lobbyists to lobby on their behalf. They're just going to throw a whole bunch of money and hope it goes away or goes in their favor. Here is what the EU's European Gaming said in their official response. Stop Killing Games EU petition tops 1.2 million signatories, prompting response from the Video Games Europe. Scrolling past all this, it's basically the synopsis of what I have already given you. Here is what they say. Having now amassed over 1 million signatures in the European Citizens Initiative, although, as PCG posits, there is some question over the validity of some signatories. I get it. That's why I'm glad they got over 1 million. That way, if 100,000 are kicked out, we still have the million that are needed to get this thing heard. Video Games Europe has provided a statement. We appreciate the passion of our community. However, the decision to discontinue online services is multifaceted.
Man, this is some bullshit. Move this man.
From their perspective, it's not even multifaceted. It's, ooh, how can we still keep control of the game and keep bilking you for money?
That's it.
It's not multifaceted. And I'll get to that in a moment. They say it is multifaceted, never taken lightly, and must be an option for companies when an online experience is no longer commercially viable. That last part means when an online experience is no longer making us money.
Ding, 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 ding.
But here's the thing. If you ask the majority of the gaming community, we don't want online games. They're called live service games, meaning perpetually online. You have to be online to play it. Why?
Good question.
Literally, video games existed for decades before that live service moment even occurred.
Yep.
The only time that you need to go online is when you want to play with others. So it's not you have to have it. You don't have to have it. Or there are certain games that you may want it to be involved, such as your Call of Duties and, your Madden footballs. Okay, I get it. But it's like I said about the Street Fighter game. You could turn it off and on as you need it. I can play Street Fighter without having to be online. It doesn't affect the game. They tell you this because they want to muddy the waters. For anybody who's novice or not fully understanding what's going on, people will see that and be like,
oh yeah, that makes sense. No, it doesn't. Not cool at all.
it's true to life garbage. It's hot nonsense. And the people that push it,
You're garbage. Human garbage.
we understand that it can be disappointing for players, but when it does happen, the industry ensures that players are given fair notice of the prospective changes in compliance with local consumer protection laws. I want you to please research on your own the video game called The Crew, because that is the game. That is the pivotal moment that set this whole thing off. That was the game they just shut down. Go to hell, deal with it. We don't feel like upkeeping it anymore. So they continue. Private servers are not always a viable alternative option for players, as the protections we put in place to secure players' data, remove illegal content, and combat unsafe community content would not exist and would not leave the rights holders liable.
A bullshit? A bullshit? A bullshit.
I want to address this on a couple of different levels. They say private game servers won't as it says, they can't secure players' data. Do y'all remember all these breaches that have been happening? How secure do you think their servers are? And just as important, it's not the game servers per se. And what I mean by per se is when Sony's PlayStation Network got hacked and had to shut down for a very long time, it wasn't like they got inside your Jack and Daxter server, or to be more realistic, it wasn't like they got inside the Madden servers. They got inside Sony's servers. They didn't get inside of specific games servers.
Good.
They got to the source. And as I mentioned in the previous video, there are several private servers that are allowed to stay up to maintain games that, as these publishers say, are no longer commercially viable. But they're right, and I get that too. As they said, it's not always a viable alternative. Now, what they mean by viable is there's no way they can make money off of it.
Exactly.
That's the reason they don't want to do it. They don't want to keep it themselves, yet they don't want to risk the chance of anybody else being able to do something with it. And my thing is simple. If you say it that it's no longer viable for you, why not just get rid of it? They're talking out of both sides of their mouths here. If it's no longer any good to you, you no longer want to deal with it, then let the players that love that game deal with it.
I'm open for another explanation, but it makes sense to me.
It won't hurt you. And so far as removing illegal content and combat unsafe community, I've already went over that in the previous one. I did. Illegal content, you can mod a game any way you want to. Unsafe community content, number one, it's just shit talking. Trash talking, shit talking happens in every game. If you don't want to deal with it, games come with a mute function where you can mute anybody that you don't want to hear. You can turn off the whole communication function as a whole. That is an option on games as well.
He's got you there, Dad.
So again, they do this to elicit a certain emotion, an image, a response from people. Oh, it's going to be unsafe. No, it's not. They know it's not, and they are bullshitting.
I think I can smell shite.
And when it comes to when they say, we'll leave legal rights holders liable. Here's my thing with that. The same way that they have in their licensing agreements, those little things that are way too long that nobody reads unless somebody draws your attention to it. There are license agreement contracts that simply say, click here if you want to play this game, and we all blindly do. The same way they have those that say in those contracts, the fine print that says you don't own this, we can take it back whenever we want to. They can also put in that same contract, hey, once you get this on a private server, we are no longer held liable for anything that happens in this game. So I don't want to hear the nonsense of, ooh, we're going to be held liable. Ooh, it's going to be bad for us.
That's bullshit.
Essentially, believe it or not, the same thing happens with, again, vehicle companies, motor companies, car companies. If you want to go out and let's say you have a car, that car is rated to have nothing more than size 18-inch tires. And you want to throw a lift kit on there and do all the hoo-ha to make it accommodate size 20 and 22 tires. Well, whatever happens to it, whatever mechanical malfunction that happened are no longer the problem of the people that built that car. You altered that. That is on you. And that's well known.
Oh, it's true. It's damn true.
So these companies really play on our ignorance. They really play on us not using common sense and deductive reasoning. There is no need for it. The only thing is it's a power trip. It's my game. If I don't want you to play it anymore, I don't want you to play it anymore, but I still want you to pay for it.
Get the fuck out of here.
As they carry on, in addition, many titles are designed from the ground up to be online only. Pause. That's what I talked about a moment ago. A lot of us don't want online only games. I would dare say the majority of us. It may not be a big majority, 55, 56 to 60% of us. We just give us a good story that gives us the choice of going online. Online only is because of the greed of the corporations.
Hell yeah, absolutely.
There is nothing that has to be perpetually online. If I want to play Madden offline against the computer or play an entire season, I can do that. I'm not online to do that. But if I want to play against other players, I'm online.
It's just that plain and fucking simple.
Yes, they have made games. There are games that are designed to be that way, and I don't understand them. Believe it or not, those are games that I do not play. One of the reasons I got outside of, I jumped off the World of Warcraft. I got outside of, I think that's Final Fantasy 14. No.
I don't play this game.
I want single player stuff because I'm not down with a lot of these youngsters on the game. Dude, I've told y'all, I'm a OMG, old man gamer. I don't have time to deal with some 20-year-old snot-nosed kid in his mama's living room or in his bedroom, all kinds of, girly posters up on the wall. Don't have time for it.
Wow, you sound like the old man.
I don't want to deal with you. Go play your game. I'll play mine. So you don't have to be perpetually online.
No, you do not.
Continuing on, these proposals would curtail developers' choice by making these video games prohibitively expensive to create.
Stop. You capping right there, bro.
I would dare to tell anyone, go to GOG. It's a gaming digital game store. Go to Steam, digital game store. Go to Green Man Gaming, digital game store. You won't see a difference in price, so you won't know what's perpetually online or what's offline because they're all charged the same.
Boom, baby.
It's not like, oh, this game's going to be online, so we're going to charge a lot more. They don't do that. Don't these companies are lying through their motherfucking teeth? They don't charge based on if it's online or not.
Nay.
Like I said, go to these stores and check for yourself and see if you can see a price difference being driven by the fact what's online and what's offline. No, what you'll find is you'll find smaller developers, what they call indies. They make reasonable games for reasonable prices, outselling these big boys.
Yes, sir.
Hell, the big boys have not been hitting it out the park well. A lot of their flops have been epic. I present to you this. The AAA gaming industry is facing significant challenges, often described as a crash or collapse, due to a combination of factors. Let's see if they're going to hit on anything that I've been talking about over the last couple of videos. High development cost. I didn't talk about it, but yes, video game costs now to make a video game that can be 10 years in development for God knows what reason can cost upwards of $500 million again for God knows what reason. That's where they get the unsustainable budgets.
No shit, Sherlock.
See, that's why they're charging all the exorbitant prices. Not because of it's online or offline. It's because these jackasses are spending $500 million on shit games and want us to pay for it.
No. No. Hell no. No. I refuse. No.
And a shift in player preferences towards indie games and live service models. Yes, we're going to indie games and getting away from live service models. This has led to mass layoffs, studio closures, and a growing sense of unease within the industry.
Yes.
Again, y'all see my screen. You can look it up on your own. But before I get rid of it, let's go down to shift in player preferences. Players are increasingly drawn to indie games, which often offer unique experiences, innovative gameplay, and more affordable prices. Somebody just said that, didn't they? This guy. The rise of live service games, while profitable for some, also requires a constant stream of content and player engagement, which can be difficult to maintain.
Aha!
That's what they want. That's why all they got are live service games. That's why they're being pushed out. Let's continue on. Many players feel that AAA studios are prioritizing microtransactions and live service elements over delivering quality single-player experiences.
Checkmate.
So, do y'all really think it's about online and offline with these video game publishers?
Fuck no!
Stop Killing Games is calling them out for it. And I can't think of a more appropriate title other than Stop Killing Games.
Please and thank you.
But I also have a bit more of a cynical, self-destructive nature.
Please, go on.
I kind of, in a very dark part of my heart, I kind of want Stop Killing Games to do exactly what it's done. Bring it to the forefront, bring it to everybody's mind, and let the lobbyists and big money from these AAA developers crush you. Oh no, not because I'm against Stop Killing Games. No, actually because I'm for it.
Enlighten me.
I am for these AAA studios to keep doing what you do, keep crashing. Because the more you put out the slop, the more we go to indies. The more the indie developers are saying, oh, well, we don't need to work with a big time publisher. Small indie developers can just put it out themselves and we will buy it. So AAA, I kind of hope you win. Because when you do, you'll be like that snake eating its tail till you're all done. And all that's left is fertile soil for the new developers, the indies, to grow. That's all I got for you on this edition of Free Mind Thinkers. You know the drill. If you like what you heard, please hit that like button. If you like it and want to hear more, if you like it and would like to hear more, hit that subscribe button, click that notification bell, and you will know every time I upload another video. Also, if this is most important, leave a comment down below and share me out there. Love me, hate me, agree or disagree, let's get a conversation going. That is the most important thing. So, as we always encourage you here at Free Mind Thinkers, stand up, stand out, think differently. And until the next time, I'll holla.